Thank you, Eloise, and thank you again for inviting me to join you all today. Hopefully in future events we'll actually be able to meet in person, but for where we are now, this will have to do. But I'm very honoured to be joined by so many and with you all today to talk about the one thing that I could talk about all day really, and that is shared ownership. So the main crux of what I wanted to really talk to you about today are the lending environment, the changes to shared ownership, and what the role of your industry has in our industry as a provider. So for those of you that may not know me, probably should have done this at the beginning, my name is Amy Nettleton and I'm the Assistant Development Director for Sales and Marketing at Aster Group. I also chair the National Sales Group and chair the National Housing Federation's National Shared Ownership campaign. So you could probably say I'm kind of committed in this space and really want to see it grow and get better. And it's been a labour of love of mine alongside some very important industry peers that you will know, such as Kelly McCabe, around making sure that this space is exactly what it should be as we move forward and fit for purpose for industries such as yourselves. So a big misconception really that we often find in this space is that there's the misconception that A, we need a lot of lenders, or B, there aren't enough lenders. It's true to say we came from a place some years ago where lending was few and far between, and it did make our job as delivering and selling and getting those sales committed a little bit more problematic. But over the years, the work that we've done, the work that your sector have done in being interested in delivering shared ownership as part of your portfolio, and also us engaging directly with you of what our ambitions are, has really seen this sector grow, and lending availability for those that should be buying really isn't a problem. I think what we need to really focus on, and for all of you in the room that are interested in this space and are interested in looking to deliver a shared ownership product, whether it's through your CSR or some affordable lending route, we need to really make sure that it's fit for purpose, and we need to really make sure and keep the focus on why we're doing that. Now, there's a lot of transitional change at the moment in this sector, you know, so we need to be thinking, are you looking at shared ownership because you want it to be a replacement for Help to Buy? The two products are very different. And we also have first homes coming on the horizon that will be spanned as an affordable tenure within planning policy. So again, we need to look at what the landscape looks like on delivery of affordable housing and affordable home ownership, and how the properties and products can coexist in that situation and in that arena, but equally giving you as lenders enough of the pie, so to speak, to make it worthwhile for you, because we know that that is also very, very important. But the reason I touched upon being fit for purpose, and the reason I touched upon the misconception element, is because what we really don't want to encourage is an influx of lenders looking at lending on things like heavy adverse, because it's something different. We need to be responsible. We need to be making sure that we are working alongside specialised brokers, and I'll come more onto that in a moment with you, because that's really important. But really understanding the role of what this lending stream is and who you're lending to, and why it is so important to lend in a very responsible manner. Conversely, and this isn't to contradict that, if you're thinking of coming into the market, you have to look at what are you offering. If you're going to come in with a pretty standard 70 or 80% LTV, there are lenders already in that space that are actually occupying that very well and servicing the market very well. So what can you do to get leverage with a specialised broker, to get leverage with a provider, to cut through the maybe noise that's there at the moment, or the existing providers that are there at the moment? And what can you do to offer in this space that's something different. And think wider than that initial sale as well. Think of what happens when somebody wants to buy a bit more, known as staircasing, which I'll come on to a few of the policy changes shortly. But think about what happens to that customer after that first initial sale. What happens then when they want to sell and move on? Can they easily port your shared ownership mortgage to maybe an open market home? How does that look as them as a customer for you for a longer term than just that initial sale? So I think when you're looking at this space, please do look wider than just that initial transaction, and equally look at what your peers are doing and try and differentiate yourselves, but remaining fit for purpose and understanding what the market demands of you. Now, one of the big changes that we're seeing that I wanted to kind of engage with you on quickly, and this is quite an informative piece, so my contact details will be shared and I'm available to chat to you directly on social or just pick up the phone. First of all, the change is from a 25% minimum share to a 10% minimum share. There is a change also for shared owners to be able to buy as a cash purchase 1% shares each year. That's known as staircasing. So whereas before they would normally be done in 5 or 10% increments, they are now being able to buy 1% a year. The other big change about how we manage shared ownership and sell shared ownership moving on, which is why I touched upon it's so important to look at your longer term product offering, is that at the moment, if a shared owner wishes to sell their home, they have to come back to us as a provider anything between 8 to 12 weeks, and then that's called a nomination period. And we are then tasked with selling that property to another shared owner that needs that property, and we go through all of the eligibility requirements. That is now changing to a period of 4 weeks. So what that means is that any shared owner, after 4 weeks of marketing it with their provider, is free to go and sell on the open market. So the role here of working with trusted providers, working with specialised brokers, is so important to make sure that moving forward, the people that are occupying our shared ownership homes and taking your shared ownership mortgages are those that actually need them. And why is that important to us as providers? Well, we've worked very, very hard in this space to make sure that it's become quite specialised and known. And a shared ownership mortgage, there's a lot of aspects to it. There's the lease that you need to understand, there's the provider's obligations that you need to understand, and there's also quite a lot of regulation. So that's where, as a provider, working with specialised brokers such as TMP is so important, because then we have the confidence, and they also mitigate our risk and responsibility for ensuring that the right advice, the right eligibility, the right affordability calculation is taken into account. And that then enables us to ensure that we're selling to the right people. So my kind of closing gambit to you guys would be, if you're ever unsure of anything in this space and it's maybe something that you're not yet into or that you're just kind of looking to get into, refer it on to specialists, get involved with the networks that know shared ownership and know how it works. And equally, really do try, and when you're thinking of coming into this space, speak to providers, understand what their challenges are, understand what their development ambitions are moving forward, and try and come up with a product that works with them and kind of enhances the space rather than just competes with everybody. And I suppose it's quite a nice problem for me to have, to be able to sit and chat to you like this, because 5 or 6 years ago we were sat chatting to you all desperate for more product, and the sector has really answered, and for that I'm very, very grateful for. And I'm also very grateful for how the sector continues to want to work closely with us as providers, because I've firsthand seen the difference that it makes when we sit round a table and we try and come up with a product offering and a solution together rather than separately. And you know, it really does change lives. And I think that that is something nice for you to go away with and understand that working in this space, you're not only delivering mortgages, but you are changing people's lives, and you're giving them the security that they never ever thought they had. So that's all from me today. But as Eloise will share my contact details, and please do get in touch. And I hope to see many of you very, very soon. And thank you once again, Eloise, for inviting me on today.